Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us. Hi, and welcome back.
Welcome.
Yeah. Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to Jesse for the last couple of weeks. It was good.
That was good. Yeah.
It was good. He's got a lot to say, and it's always amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it'd be good. Yeah, it's always nice to have returning people because, life has changed. Like, a lot has changed since what? 2019?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's true. And the thing that I most appreciated about our conversation was I feel like it brought fresh energy to the things that we've been talking about, because it's
to the table, to the long table. If you are not watching, remember you should, because it's a big table.
It is a big table. It's true. I'm glad though to have some inspiration to bring something new into my classroom.
Definitely. No. When Jesse brought this up in our meeting 2 months ago or a month ago, I don't know. It was like, this is really good. This is Orff, but with a different, as he says, lens for me, a different medium.
Yeah. It's all process teaching.
It's all process teaching.
And speaking of process teaching,
hey,
that's what I want to talk about today.
Nice segue.
Thank you. So my friend Drue Bullington and I have recently published an article in the Orff Echo, which is the American Schulwerk Association's scholarly peer-reviewed journal. So the theme of this issue is sources.
Okay.
And so most of the articles are talking about finding different primary sources for Orff Schulwerk and bringing them in.
I'm guessing, for example, probably the wow, why am I blanking?
The Music for Children volumes by Orff and Catemon.
Yes. What are some other ones that were brought up?
Catemon wrote Elementaria. That's,
okay.
That's a source. But
are they talking about music sources per se, or sources about Orff?
Well, the lovely thing about it is they put out the topic and you kind of take
open interpretation.
They do.
Yes.
You take it wherever you want to go. So there's some people who wrote articles about curriculum and how to bring equity into it, which is there are some real gems in here. I really enjoyed Martha O'Hare's article about musicology as a source of the Schulwerk pedagogy.
I'll have to read into that.
Yeah, it's very good. And then people just took it in lots of different directions. But the direction that Drue and I took is we have been talking for some time about how important it is to process teach yourself into becoming a excellent teacher.
Expound.
Okay, so
process teach stuff that is tasty.
Yes,
so expound.
Yes, it is tasty. So if you're not familiar with the Orff Schulwerk process, it is imitation. So teacher does something, students directly imitate it. And then you move into exploration. And so they get to take that one little thing and then add their own spin on it, which goes right along with improvisation.
Right.
So they improvise, they keep what they like, and then we end up with a new creation. So that's the cycle. And those things don't have to happen in that order necessarily. But those are the four pieces of it. And so I think and Drue and I think together that that is just the learning process, really, and it applies to every single area of your life. So, especially as teachers, we have to fully develop ourselves as the best possible human beings that we could be if we want to be the most effective teachers that we want to be. Yeah, like the person directing the classroom has to be emotionally intelligent, has to have a working knowledge of not just their subject matter and be an expert in their field, really, but also, understand the emotional landscape of the kids and the psychological landscape of the kids, like what we're working with when they come in their room, a little bit about what their backgrounds and their home lives look like, so that we can compassionately receive them.
Let's just cite our earlier episode regarding being a culturally responsive teacher. So,
There's so many different things that you really need to be great at in order to be the most effective possible teacher. You never stop learning.
Right, because these students are not androids where you plug in the information, they just receive it. You are the vehicle of where the teaching happens.
Right. And when we're talking about teaching music through the Orff Schulwerk process, you are the source of inspiration.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. You plant the seed.
Right.
Yeah. You provide the spark.
You plant the seed and you help them understand how they can water it themselves.
Yes, exactly. You dump out the Legos. Yeah.
We are not sponsored by Legos.
We're not, but it's so good,
But
right? It's such a good word picture.
if the Danes would like to contact us, I would not be opposed.
My children would be thrilled.
My child itself would be thrilled.
Yeah. So the key to all of it that we argue is two things.
Okay.
Curiosity and love.
Curiosity and love.
Curiosity and love.
I'm right now looking at the magazine. Again, if you're not watching the video, you might want to actually look at this episode because we do actually hold a copy of what is to come.
Right. Sure. I highly recommend that you become a member of Aosa.
Yes.
And if you would like to see this article, I do have permission to share it, and I'm happy to send it to you. But the Orff Echo is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, it is.
It's worth the membership.
And we were just talking about one article. We mentioned earlier other articles that piqued my curiosity. Speaking of curiosity.
Yes.
So you drew up this... Was this you or Drew?
This was both of us.
So this is on the second page of this article is this lovely periodic table of nerddom.
Yeah.
Which is not...
The most important thing you need to understand about me and Mr. Bullington is that we are nerds.
Nerds.
Yes. Our friendship is solidly built on our shared nerddom.
So hydrogen is not the first element.
It's not.
Instead, you have...
So we were playing with the word elemental, right? Because we're elemental teachers.
I'm so
no,
done.
you're not. And so you're not done. So
you're not done. That's for sure.
We're elemental teachers.
Okay,
and so we were talking about the elements of a great teacher. And so we had a long list.
Okay.
And then we said, hey, it'd be nice if we had some visuals, laid this out for people. And separately, we both filled in a blank periodic table of the teacher elements.
Unintentionally doing the same shindig.
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
Okay.
So the universe has spoken.
Indeed.
And the periodic table of the teacher elements has been born. So for me, love is the foundation for everything I do. And that can sound a little saccharine if I think you take it the wrong way. But
interpret it incorrectly.
Yeah. But I really do. I love people and I love this world and I want it to be the best it possibly could be.
And I think the way would be to take in saccharine is if you don't understand the complexity of what love can be.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. I think it's the only reason worth doing anything really is out of love. And so when I walk into my classroom and I welcome the kids into it and I plan my lessons, I do it all through that lens of when you love someone, you want what's best for them.
Yep.
And so what is best for my students? Today, how can I be the best, most caring teacher today for this particular group of kids? So if you don't start there, the kids can smell it.
Even through those masks.
They really can. They know. They know. And I think that the kids have to understand that you care about them first before they'll do anything for you.
Otherwise, they're not convinced.
Right.
They're not. Again, we talk about the teacher being the vehicle for them to know how.
Yeah.
How the seed is planted. They can reject the seed.
They can. And at the elementary level, so many times we are associated with our subject matter. Like I've been called Miss Music. I have been called music class. I am the personification of music.
We have a behavior specialist. She's amazing. But she always has nicknames. She calls me Music. Hey, Music, over here.
Right? I mean, and so there's
I call her Counselor Troy.
I think it's
we're talking about nerds here.
I think it's Zoltan Kodály who said the most important person in the music community is not the director of the opera house, but rather the elementary music teacher, because if they can help the children fall in love with it, then that ensures that generations of artists will have a place. I'm totally slaughtering this quote
at Mrs. Pridmore.
You can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that that's who said something similar to that. Yeah, that we are representing music for. We want them
ambassadors.
We want them to have a positive association with music making so that they can use it as a tool.
Not just music making, creation.
Yes,
and
creating.
Music is
being imaginative. Yes.
Everything we do.
Yes. And if you're not curious too, you're not growing.
Right. So speaking of curious, so you have at the very top, curiosity and love
And
have
love.
replaced
Yes.
hydrogen and helium, rest in peace, those two elements. And then you have other elements to break it down.
Yes.
So you have on the left side.
Sure. So we broke it up just like the periodic table is broken up. So we've got the essential humanitarian elements, which are wonder, passion, adventure, openness, humanity, humility, and power.
Okay.
And then super developmental elements, risk, confidence, insight, leadership, and excellence. And then transitional growth elements are peace, listening, integrity, caring, passion, commitment, skill, joy, respect, patience, compassion, authenticity, gentleness, purpose, insistence, respect, loyalty, warmth, and initiative. And then the noble elemental approach elements are...
Which we're on the noble gases area. Well, almost. The imitation growth are kind of going outside there, but you know what? We accept it.
These ones are imitation, exploration, improvisation, and creativity, sharing,
8
growth,
valence
and
electrons
community.
rotating around them.
That's right. That's right. And then the unique connection elements are trauma-informed, cultural awareness, inclusive, synergy, vulnerability, and dynamic.
Okay, sorry, because you're talking about you being a nerd and me also being a nerd, but not.
I know, but we're very different brands of nerds.
We are very different brands, but I'm rather impressed because the bottom portions are definitely the unstable elements, and trauma-informed cultural awareness is the things that are just the most complex. And
we put a lot of thought into this.
Well, you put a lot of thought without knowing each other. Placed a lot of thought. Well, did you collaborate afterwards?
We collaborated afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, we both came up with a similar idea, and then we moved things around. So we kind of figured out where we wanted to go and why.
Well done. Where are your
thank you.
where are your transformative metals?
So those would be the transitional.
No.
elements.
There's only one row at top. It's supposed to be one row at top.
Shut up.
Oh gosh.
Okay, back to what we're talking about. But these are all the elements that are involved in becoming a person of integrity, and especially a teacher facilitator.
Definitely.
Yeah. A guide. Okay. The modern classroom, we're getting away from the factory approach to education, where everybody goes in and it's our job to empty things into their little minds.
Tabula rasa. It is fascinating that we're still in this factory mindset when the Industrial Revolution was a long time ago.
Right, but that's when our schools were founded.
And we have not changed since then.
We haven't. We need to get out of that way of thinking. A good modern classroom teacher understands that we are a facilitator for curiosity and growth, and we need to be sparking that curiosity and helping the kids, really thrive on their interests. So I think that the Orff Schulwerk classroom is
bomb diggity.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the perfect place to put all this into practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So the idea is you find people that you want to imitate, and you surround yourself with them.
Okay.
And so you teach yourself into becoming the person with all of those elements.
Fascinating. Okay. I have a thought, but
well, tell me your thought. I want to know.
I'm just curious. I think I've mentioned this several times on the podcast that we often silo ourselves.
Yes.
It is common for teachers to silo themselves.
It is.
And in so doing, our imitation is only of the past.
Yeah.
It's only of the band directors we had before.
That's true. Yeah.
And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the whole, why are we still stuck in the Industrial Revolution? Because we are often so siloed in their only imitation. I mean, I'm thankful that my imitation is of Tamara Page. She's a phenomenal teacher, but she's a high school director.
Right.
I had no clue what elementary music was.
Yep. If you haven't seen it in practice, that's one of the reasons why it's so important for us to go to our Orff workshops to see lots of different kinds of people deliver this content.
And also to go to the universities as well. Just showcase to other students what happens.
Right.
Or if ideally we'd bring them to our classrooms.
We would. And that's why I am eager to throw the doors open for them so that they can see what it looks like, and why I'm so hungry to watch my amazing peers teach,
Yep.
Every chance I get, with all of my amazing teachers all across the country that I'm friends with, I'm like, I want to see your classroom. Show me how it's organized. Do you have a video you're allowed to share of you teaching? Do you have a sample lesson? Because I want to see how they deliver the content. I want to see what their teacher personas look like, because your teacher personality is different than your friend personality.
Quite, yeah.
And if it's not, it should be.
At least some difference.
Yeah.
I am very much myself. My language is quite different, though.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
I mean, those words still stay. I would just confuse the heck out of my students. But
yes.
But My mind was going somewhere about the whole observation.
Yeah.
Like,
Watching other people teach, finding people to imitate.
well, yeah, watching other people teach, like, this has been something that's been percolating on my mind. I've mentioned this in an earlier podcast. Like, I think it's so important to watch other people teach. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Because it's funny, when you watch, like, someone, a professional sports player, basketball player going down the court,
right?
There is an artistry to it.
Yep.
It's not just like a formula, and people know it. People know it when you watch like your favorite football player playing or favorite baseball player. Their style is so different.
Yes.
And I feel like there's a resistance or an apprehension towards teachers considering themselves as artists because the medium we work with are children. And so that's a little bit, it can be seen as icky.
Sure.
Or messy, but like we are
teaching
artists.
is a craft.
Teaching is an art. Yeah. Very much. And so, yes, our medium are people, but how we move our words, how we move our body, how we move our lessons, it's art.
It's performance art.
It is an art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, like anyone could do it. And that's not the case.
And that is not the case.
That is not the case.
There are plenty of people who are not great at this job. And so when we did talk a little bit about that too. I was showing the article to Jesse before we started recording, and he's not the first one to make this comment, but saying like, well, what about the people who need this but aren't going to be the ones to read it? And it's like, well, this message is not for them. This is for the people who are ready to receive it. Yeah,
like there will always be people who are not. Like, it's ironic. The people who do need the message the most are often the ones that are most resistive. But an article,
you can say that about just about anything.
Yes, but an article or a Facebook post or a text-based one-way direction of a one-way direction of an idea is not going to convince someone differently. That it has to be. True. That's a mentorship. That's a conversation.
Mentors are so important.
They are.
That's why I wanted to put that in this article. To me, a mentorship is like it's the most important thing in my life, I think. I've been mentored by some really phenomenal people, and I'm so deeply grateful. And they've been from all walks of life. They've been lots of different areas of my life. I've learned leadership and business skills and how to handle my money. Yeah. And I think one of the most important places in my life where I've had important mentors is in my marriage. When my husband and I, 14 years ago now, we're in premarital counseling. Our premarital counselors said, find a couple who's been married a long time and hang out with them. And someone that you admire their relationship, who's been married for a long time, who you admire, and you want your relationship to look like that, because the more you hang out with them, the more you'll treat each other the way they treat each other. And it's true. And I apply that to teaching.
I wonder, to everyone who's listening, please let me know. I'm really curious. And this is not me being a plug. But please do message us. I am curious. How many of you have a teacher mentor?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about your master teacher.
Yeah.
Unless your master teacher is constantly walking beside you or has for a long period of time. Because I know I haven't.
I think that we have really phenomenal teaching peers.
Yes.
That we share openly with. And we do have a number of mentors. They just don't live here. I think both of us have gained that through our Orff levels experience.
I agree. I think maybe our definition of mentorship is a little different.
Okay.
Or maybe because these people that have reached out, you are definitely more communication than I am. And so for me, I really, there was a mentorship for a period, but I'm not in that constant communication.
Sure.
And so I feel like mentorship is not just a small period of time, but it is a continual walk.
It depends.
Okay.
Sometimes you have a specific thing to learn from a person,
sure.
and so you pick that up and you take it and you run with it. And sometimes it's meant to be a longer relationship. It's kind of the same with friendships, Sometimes you have friends that come into your life for a season. And
I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
I don't know.
It's true.
It's true. And sometimes you have your friends that stick with you for life.
You're right. No, again, I'm not trying to say that it is for a continual, for the long term, but for me, I haven't had for even for a small period of time of my life where I've had a mentor beside me. It has always been I learned from them for 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it.
So I know for me, I have never had a mentor before. I'm curious.
I encourage you to find one that you really love.
I would like, I've been in talks with someone that could be a mentor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's the same kind of idea as what we learned in premarital counseling. It's like when you hang out with somebody who's an excellent teacher, they really rub off on you. The way they talk to their kids is how you will talk to your kids. The way they move through their classroom, you'll start to pick up those pieces that work for you too. The way they organize, the way they make their lessons, the cadence of their speech, and you'll try it on, and that you'll directly imitate for a minute, and then you'll explore, and you keep the parts that work for you, and you discard the parts that don't, and then you turn it into something entirely new and all your own. But it starts with that direct imitation.
Oh, my mind's going all directions right now. Because another thing that I'm thinking about, again, if you have been mentored, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
I also feel like just being in the postmodernistic society, it's hard for us to think of people as mentors or as quote unquote experts, because there's this guy named Chris Fabizak. He wrote like experts are few and far between. Everyone is trying to just figure it out on their own, and that's true, and that's very much true. But people who are willing to be mentors, they may not be like 100% expert, but they have seen things for a long period of time, and so being vulnerable enough to walk beside these people.
So that's and okay, so we talk about this
go for it.
In the mentor relationships, and what we talk about is be the kind of person that makes a mentor feel vulnerable enough with you to share not just their successes but their failures and how they climbed out of it. Like that's a privilege to hear those stories.
Sure, definitely.
And that's asking someone to really open up and be vulnerable. So if you really want to like get to the best possible place you can get in your teaching and have deep professional relationships, then you got to be the kind of person that will receive that with compassion and grace and openness so that you can grow from it. Yeah.
I think also another inverse, the inverse also is to be vulnerable to be a mentor to someone else as well.
Oh my God, it's really nuts. And
you're on both sides of the street if you've been more than 1 year teacher.
Yeah, it's true. I just had I had a new teacher come along a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about what she wanted to see, and I told her my schedule. I talked through it, and I said, if you come on this day, then you'll get to see how I talk to the little kids and special ed, and this is when I've got the big guys, and we're working on instruments right now, and this group is my most challenging group. She's like, I want to come then. And it's
Smart.
like, oh, yes,
Smart,
but that's what she needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not what I want.
Oh my gosh. It's
totally
like,
fair.
well, okay, so that one is the most likely to fall off the rails.
You will see me at not my best.
I will be at my best. The children,
Fair.
on the other hand,
Fair.
But having another adult in the room too, who is watching to learn.
Yep.
It's really helpful to have that energy in the room. So I don't know, like you don't have to have all of your stuff together in order to be a great mentor. You just have to be willing to be vulnerable. And that takes a lot of courage.
It does.
To do that.
It does.
It's frightening. But it's really important. Yeah. Yeah. That goes back to our imposter syndrome. Like, do I really have anything to teach anybody? By the way, everybody feels like that.
Oh, I know.
I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
I took too long to learn that lesson. Everybody wonders that. Everybody has that question.
Another thought that comes to mind.
Okay. Bring it on.
I was talking to a general ed teacher in the lounge, and he was talking about how, we didn't have collaboration back in the day. Like when I first started, my other teachers in the same grade level, they tossed me a manual and say, "Here, go learn it. You got it now." And they walked away, and like that was the approach.
It's not helpful.
It's not helpful, no. But like it just I'm glad that we're moving away from that mentality.
I am too.
And the thing is though, his response was that forced him to be a good teacher.
Okay.
And my pushback was, yeah, but you weren't able to see how other people taught.
Right.
And that might have helped you, like, because you were forced to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Like, there are still
I can guarantee
other
that
coaches.
wasn't the best experience for the kids that you taught that year.
And is it the most optimized for you? You might be the most you, but are you the most optimized for...
But I pulled myself up by my bootstraps.
I mean, that was essentially his thesis.
I know. I know who you're talking about, and I also heard that story firsthand and had the same thought. It's like, man, you were gypped.
Yeah.
You were seriously chipped. Yes, we need to have the opportunity to get in front of groups of people and try things and have it not go well, which you will when you're teaching. You will in year 15 and 30 as well as year 1. But we need to have people to give us feedback so that we can say, hey, that looked like that was hard. What felt hard? Where did you feel it start to break down? Can I give you some suggestions? This is what I might have done in a similar scenario. But somebody who can deliver that in a way that doesn't make you feel like, a failure.
He also asked me if if I knew what a landline was.
Oh.
He was one of those people. And I was like, yeah, of course he did. And my response was, do you know the difference? That Wi-Fi is not the same as internet? And that blew his mind. So don't try to pull this. You're a millennial, guys. Gosh, I'm done. Anyways.
It's okay.
Anyway, hard left
Whatever,
turn.
boomer.
He's a Gen Xer, but same idea.
Oh, man.
So you talked about the necessity towards imitation.
Yes.
So imitation. Exploration.
Right.
Where does that go into for the teacher?
Well, that would be like, if we're talking about just how they teach, then you would imitate a lesson from them. It's pretty straightforward. But then also, for me, what I'm always looking at when I'm observing a teacher is what place are they coming from emotionally when they teach? Like what's the tone? Because to me, a really great teacher can help facilitate a way for kids to process their feelings in a way that they may not have been expecting before they came in. So like maybe you've got a crazy group of 6th graders and it's right after recess and they're totally amped up. But 10 minutes into music class, we're all sitting behind xylophones and we're exploring, like a minor tone set. And we're talking about how music can express longing, and they can feel that. Like that is the magic. Like, how do you get a group of people to just deeply listen and understand on that level and create at that level? That's what I want to learn.
I think that's the problem with tabula rasa mentality.
With what?
Tabula rasa mentality. Like
what
you
is
just
that?
So the idea of tabula rasa is people were born as a blank slate.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
That's the problem when you think of yourself as you are just implanting just ideas, and that is your job as a teacher, to implant ideas. You're not pulling things out of them. Yeah. And there are so many ideas to pull out of.
That's right. And if they don't get to express that, then they're going to lose interest.
Yes,
because curiosity, it's the catalyst, right? That's why it's at the top of the table. If you don't have curiosity in any of your relationships, then they stop growing. Like as the minute you stop being curious about a person you love, like that's the minute your relationship begins to die.
Or to talk about like burned out teachers, like, like once you're just complacent, like
right? You stop seeking out ways to become a better teacher. That's the minute you start, burning out as a teacher. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it applies to every single area of life. Like if you don't have curiosity in those areas, like watch out. That's your warning sign.
If there's no curiosity, there's no wonder. There's no momentum forward.
That's right. Yeah, it has to be that spark. It has to be there. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, pretty much. So, like, we have all of these beautiful resources. We have books and books of lessons. We have tons of music. We have great minds who have delivered all of this content, but the content is not the source. The teacher is the source, because the teacher is who takes those things and processes it and then is able to deliver it in a way that the community receives, embraces, and is able to take and create something new.
Otherwise, you just throw books at kids. Yeah. And like, books are great, but that's not being a teacher.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. We're developing ways of thinking. We're not just delivering content.
Thinking and creating.
Yes.
Well, pretty much the same idea.
Sure. Yeah.
Have you...
That's what an education is. It's teaching you how to think and how to learn.
Have you... the article has not been published, but my first question is, I wonder...
It should be any week now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you... who have you shown this to so far? Like, how many people, more or less?
Not a ton.
Okay.
We've maybe had a dozen readers at this point.
Any pushback?
No.
No? Good. Cool.
I'd be interested to talk to anybody who disagrees. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Let us know.
What do you think?
When you actually check this article out from the Orff Echo, let us know.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. To me, this is my philosophy of education. It's like,
Is there anything you wish you could have still added to it that you felt would have either detracted from the theme of source, or you just ran out of space to write it?
oh yeah, we cut probably 50% of what we initially wrote.
What's something you wish you kept in?
I don't know about wish I would have kept in, because I feel like this is a really good introduction to our rallying
Then
cry
what
here.
is your next?
But it's just the things that we had to cut was a little bit more of the how. Okay. And so there are some action pieces in here, but it's more like this is the general idea. Yep. But when you actually set out on this path, then I find it helpful to have milestones, and specific exercises or activities, or just things to meditate on, and really focus in on. It's like, we want to grow this muscle today, so I want to grow the patience muscle. What are some things that I can do to really focus on that one thing today? It's like, you don't have to go from being a new teacher to being a fully developed person with all the things, like, right, all at once. It's not overnight. It's a process. And I think self-compassion really has to be the frame for all of it, because
love's one of the
love
is not just towards other people, but for yourself.
It is for yourself. Yeah. Yes, loving yourself through all of the failures, because there will be many. Yes.
I mean,
and some of them will hurt a lot.
That's what happens when you explore.
Yes. Learning is painful.
Living is painful. Learning is painful, though. And I think we've probably talked about this before, but I feel like adults forget that. And that's why they give up on, like, learning an instrument as an adult or something. That's
like,
fair.
Yeah. Like, it really sucks to suck.
It does.
As Mark likes to say, it sucks to suck.
Yeah. Because we've broken down our muscle of, like, our understanding of the world, and for us to go through that process again is so arduous.
Yeah.
At least when we were kids, we had a concept of time, and also the concept of what we built beforehand wasn't exactly there. Now we're adults. It's just arduous to go back into the breaking down of the muscle.
Yeah, it really is. I am so proud to be on this journey with people who are on this page, though. Like, who get this.
Yeah.
Because this is my heart right here. Like, I seriously feel like I've been put on this earth in this lifetime to give this message, and not just for music teachers, but for everybody. Like, let's live at the highest level we can live, so that we can love each other the best that we can. And that's, at the end of the day, that's why I do what I do. It's about impact. It's about having a big impact.
Yeah, I can't imagine people just live life just to get through the next day.
Well, that's why we teach our kids how to dream, right?
Right.
It starts with curiosity.
I was just going to say, this is the wonder, curiosity element.
Yes, wonder and curiosity. Yeah. Inspiring awe. I talked about that in my workshop with San Diego. Like, we have to inspire awe in our students. Like, how can we get them to think about how big the entire world and the universe is, and how small we are, and yet how important we are?
Makes me think about, because it's hard to wonder, it's hard to be curious when the world is so oppressive. And
yes.
so it's
and when your basic needs aren't met.
And this could go really hard onto a different track, but I think I'll save that for another time. I think it's just important to go back to the element of love.
Yes.
Which only has 2 protons, apparently.
I didn't put any numbers on them, okay?
Hey, it's right there. It's right there.
There's no numbers on this periodic table.
Wait.
It's right here.
Okay. Yeah. So love, which is replacing helium. Our love has to be very forward.
Yeah.
Because there are people who cannot be curious without their needs may or may not be met at home.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to establish a place where we can build them up.
Our love has to be forward, and I think something that I'm learning more and more is that doesn't mean you walk around wide open.
True.
And soak up everybody's trauma.
Oh, definitely not.
I mean, I'm an empath, and so that, that was,
Discovered that recently.
that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
And when I first started teaching, I would just come home exhausted. And one of the reasons was I was soaking up everybody's emotions. Right. And I had a mentor a few years ago who suggested that maybe I do some things like physically change my clothes when I come home from work and go for a walk, to just like communicate to my body, like, we're done with that now. And so now it's time to rest. And it's been pretty game changing. So, still like figuring out like how to walk with love forward so everyone can feel the love, but also, protect yourself.
Yeah. The love for it has to apply to yourself as well.
Yes. Armor up.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean be closed.
No.
It's tricky.
It is a balance. It's a dance.
It is.
I get criticized for saying that, but no, it's a dance. Like,
it is.
Whenever you're dealing with people, even dealing with yourself, it's always a dance of like, how much you're gonna move forward, backwards. How are you going to weave? How are you going to? And there's no staticness.
Boundaries, man.
Boundaries. This goes back to the difference between the US. And it's not that I disagree with you. It's not that you disagree with me either. But it's the boundaries, but also still like being active to make a change for the kids. And again, it's
well, boundaries aren't solid walls.
Right, exactly.
Those are unhealthy boundaries. But boundaries have appropriate gaps.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So when is this being released?
I am not sure. It should be out. And by the time this episode airs, it should be available. If you're interested in reading it, and you are an Aosa member, it is included in your membership. You get you get this. You know, speaking of mentors, I'm just gonna give an unpaid plug for Aosa. That's what I was gonna say
as well. I think.
Go for it. Yeah, their video library is a treasure trove. So if you are an Aosa member, you can go on your member portal, and there are decades of teachers videos, and you can basically visit workshops for amazing people who are no longer alive and see how they went through, and a number of people who very much still are, but you can see all of these incredible teachers delivering this beautiful process, and see how they all differed. What were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say is, speaking of placing yourself out there, placing the element of imitation out there. Imitation's not here. Sorry.
It is.
Hi there. Oh, hi, Mark. Right for the Orff Echo.
Yeah.
Or if not for the Orff Echo, place stuff out there so that people can see what other people are doing.
Start with reverberations. Start with a blog post for ASM. Hey, you got something to say?
Yes, very much. There are many venues, or you know what? Create your own blog posts. Like place your stuff out there so that people can recognize that they're not alone, and that they can recognize also that, once again, if you're a teacher, you're an artist.
Yes.
So do it.
Do it. Put yourself out there. It's scary. Aosa also has a mentorship program, so you can request a mentor, and you can share video.
Fascinating. Yeah.
So it's I've heard it's really wonderful. I have not gone through that one myself, but I've heard it's lovely. So, cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing this article, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm excited to see what comes of it, because this is a beginning, I think. Yeah, there's a lot more to dig into.
Sure, and there's a lot more to like pretty much, again, I really want to look at those other articles, because those other people have a lot to share.
Yeah, they do.
And in essence, wow, I just can't do it. This is the awkward left turn. Just like our stuff. Leave us a review, 5 stars. Wow, but you know what? Yeah, it helps. Just as like the community.
I mean, really, writers. If you haven't already, what are you even doing?
I wasn't gonna go there, but yes.
I mean, I did.
Okay, cool. So yeah, leave us a review. And once again, I know a lot of people have appreciated this forum that we've had. But it only gets bigger and better, and keeps these lights on and these microphones on when you do subscribe, so that the community can grow and that we can also talk to each other once.
That's right.
Yeah. So leave us a review, 5 stars only. And also write out a review. That'd be cool. We want to read it just like we did with EMCK.
We do. It makes us feel good.
I think it was EMCK_11, last one.
Something like that.
Then,
Jonathan gets really excited and texts me.
do.
It's true. Got a review.
Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. Whether or not you will listen to us in that medium, subscribe there.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Back with Spiccato after the break.
I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information.
That's weighty.
It is weighty. It is a metal box. Mm-hmm. And inside of the box, Dominoes.
Hey.
What would you do with Dominoes?
Okay, so fun fact. I never knew Dominoes was a game.
Oh, really? You just thought you could knock them over?
That's all I knew about Dominoes was the whole, knocking things over.
It was fun to knock them over.
I learned in 6th grade or 7th grade that there was a game. That's a pretty
There's
cool game.
many games.
Sure.
This is a Mexican train set, but we love Chicken Foot.
Chicken Foot. What's Chicken Foot?
Chicken Foot is a really fun game that we will teach you.
So actually,
I feel like I can't take the time to describe it. Okay. You guys can look it up on YouTube.
Chicken Foot.
Chicken Foot. It's the Pridmore family's favorite game.
Is it the distant cousin? Oh wow, I'm butchering it. Is it the distant cousin Littlefoot? I was trying to say it, but it was like a bad pronunciation.
It's okay. It's okay.
Good. So something that I think about actually. So entirely not related to Dominoes, the game, but back to the whole knocking over.
Yes.
You know the Rube Goldberg machines, right?
Yes, I do.
I feel like there's something there.
Okay.
Because like Dominoes is the whole, you start the whole thing like doing one little action, so letting the dominoes fly. Mm-hmm. I still think about the whole. You know the group OK Go?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Their music videos are always well done.
Yes.
Very well done.
Yeah, and their giant Rube Goldberg video. That was amazing.
Though it was really interesting to here are the scenes. This is where the cuts were. It's like when you try to break the.
That was incredible.
It was well done. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like cause and effect. I feel
Okay.
So forget the Rube Goldberg machine. Scratch it. No one knows what that is.
Okay.
I feel like you could do a movement activity where it's essentially it's like the domino effect where the leader moves.
Okay.
And then you make that chain reaction, so you see the people flowing through.
I like that idea.
It's not a novel idea, but it looks great when it's well done.
No, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
This could be.
And you could use the domino to demonstrate. It's like the hook.
That's a hook.
I gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this set of dominoes goes all the way up to 12. I think it has double 12s.
Cool.
And so the way I used it when I was teaching form. That's how I taught Rondo. So I took whatever this is. I think these are the 10s. So I started with the 10s, and then I'm like, no, this one is this group. This is the 1, and then this is the 2, and then we go back to a 10. So I've started off with 10, and that's the A section, right? And then I've got 2 different numbers, and so I've got a 1 dot on one side, so that's the B section, but then we go back to A because it's a 10 again.
So just in case you're not watching,
right.
What Crystal has
That's why I was trying to describe.
Right. So you know how Dominoes has 2 numbers on both sides.
Right.
So one side has the 10, the other side has the 10. That would be A and A.
Yeah.
And then the next domino you have is a 1.
A, B, A.
And 10. So A, B, A. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
C, A, D, A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though technically, you don't need the AA for the rondo. But
yeah, I
still,
know. Well, I couldn't find the 0 fast enough. I would normally find the 0 on. Here we go. Here it is.
Hey, there
it is. All right. There you go. A section. A section to begin.
Cool. All right.
Now you got it.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you really want to, you can later on you can divide them up and give them to kids in a set, like give them 3 or 4 and tell them to make up their A section and their B section, and we'll do it in their group. So I find visuals helpful.
Well, very much so.
I mean, and a lot of kids really help. Like, yeah, the visuals are important and things they can hold. And these are very sensory. Like, I love how Dominoes have they're like carved out.
They just feel good.
They do. They're very smooth. Yes. Our favorite moment, we go up to the mountains when we can, and we stayed up in the mountains shortly after Christmas, and there was a giant snowstorm, and we had just sat down to dinner, and the power went out, and so we ate our spaghetti by candlelight, and then we played chicken foot by candlelight.
Nice.
And it was the boys' favorite night.
As they say in the old country,
dope chicken. It was dope chicken.
Dope chicken.
You're a dork. Okay, shall we do a round of the week?
Let's do a song.
Okay, let's do it. Round of the week. Okay, so this is a folk melody that I changed the words to.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it. I could not find the origin of this little tune anywhere, but it also sounds like 1,000 different rounds.
Sure.
It's everywhere I've seen versions of it written down. It just says folk song. So
that's great. That's helpful. Thanks.
I know, right? It has 1,000 different words for church.
Okay.
Is where I first heard the melody.
Gotcha.
So here's how it goes.
Okay.
In my classroom. Join me in our circle, friends. Sing until our voices blend. Sing out loud from start to end.
Well, that's curious.
Join me in our circle, friends.
That's 3 lines.
Sing until our voices blend. Sing out strong from start to end.
That's 3 lines. It's 3 lines. It's in 4, but it's 3 lines. Interesting. Okay. So let's try it out.
Join me in our circle, friends. Sing until our voices blend. Sing out strong from start to end. Too low?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Join me in our circle, friends. Sing until our voices blend. Sing until our voices blend. Sing out in our circle, friends. Sing until our voices blend. Sing until our voices blend. Sing out strong from start to end. I just started singing it in our little, like, as I lead them into a circle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I stand up and I start singing this song, the rule is that they have to get in a line and follow me, because telling kids to make a circle,
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
even
hard.
After practicing it this year, they were still not getting it. So I just get them in a line and I lead them in a circle, and it solves all the problems. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Curious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, you were a lot. You shared a lot and you wrote a lot.
I am a lot, I know.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
That was not what I said.
That's okay.
Let the record
right.
show. I did not say that.
I own it. It's
but
fine.
That all said, if they want to, message said a lot. If they want to follow
I'll
up,
talk to you.
Where can you contact
you can find me on Instagram at Mrs.Pridmore. You can find me on Twitter at Finny Vappa, and you can find us at the Chaotic Harmony places too.
You can find us at CH Classroom, but before that, you can find me at Mr. Seligman, MRSELGMEN, if you want to, on the Twitter or the Instas. But back to what you were saying earlier, at CH Classroom, you can message us on all the socials except, you know the drill, not YouTube. That's youtube.com/Chaotic Harmony Classroom. And speaking of Chaotic Harmony Classroom, if you want to share a thought, a question, or such, you can always email us there, chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com.
Yes. We'll reply.
We will.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.